Hello, you're welcome to Reviews and Recaps. Today we're talking about Ready to Love Season 6, Episode 2. Guys, what did you think about this episode? So I think what I'm going to do is a recap first, and then we're going to do the review at the end. Okay, so the first scene was the brunch. And can I just say the food looked so good? I was like, guys, I'm hungry. Like, can someone feed me? Because the food was looking really good. And during that scene, I could immediately see that Tiffany was upset. So I think because her name was in the bottom from the last episode, she was a little bit upset. And so her energy was completely off. She just seemed very standoffish. I remember when Clifton was trying to, say hi and have a conversation with her, her energy was just so off. And I was just like, what's wrong with this woman? Like, yes, it's a competition. You were in the bottom. So what? Get over it, pick yourself back up and make those connections. But I don't think she was all about that. I think her energy was just off. Her ego was probably bruised. That's the thing about these sorts of shows, right? If you know you can't handle your ego being bruised and you're going to be insecure about the fact that you weren't picked, then you shouldn't be on those sorts of shows. Just find somewhere else and find something else. Find a different way of finding love. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, so Tiffany proceeded to say, I know who my eye is on, and it's Wiley. I'm like, okay, girl. Wiley cannot save you. I know you have a connection with Wiley, but that's the time for you to explore your connections with other people as well. If you don't have any connections, make connections. What I don't understand is people that come on this show, right? Is it that you lot don't watch the shows before? Like, you don't watch previous episodes, you don't watch the last season to get some indication of what the show is like. It's just due diligence. If you're going to be on a show or anything, you need to figure out what they did previously. Now, it's not going to be the same thing, but there are certain principles that apply. So, for example, if I went to Ready to Love, I already know, girl, explore your options, make various connections. I'm not going to own in on just one person at the start. Yes, I might be feeding you. You will know I'm feeding you, but I'm also going to be talking to other people so that other people can also keep me in the game. Anyways, that's my little 2 cents. For anyone who's thinking of going to Ready to Love, guys, watch the freaking previous season. Anyways, so Tiffany proceeded to say, I know who my eye is on, and it's Wiley. I'm like, no, sis, whatever. So Tiffany and Wiley were having their own little chat when Dakia decided to interrupt. She walked up to the table and she was like, can I join? I'm like, all right, sis. So she sat there and turned it into a double date real quick. Next thing, she's like, I know you. And this was to Wiley. And then she was like, are you Chuck Brown's son? And he was like, oh, here we go. Like, you can tell that he was like not there for it. He did not want that to be raised or anything. But he's like, all right, cool. Yeah. Whatnot. He doesn't like to lead with that, which I appreciate. Like, having celebrity parents, you don't want their identity to become yours. You want to be able to form your identity. You want to make sure people love you for you and not, people trying to make friends with you because they know who your parent is. Because I'm friends with certain people who their parents or family members are celebrities, and it's a little bit of a slippery slope because sometimes even I get people reaching out to me because I'm their friend saying things like, oh my God, I didn't know this person was this person's daughter or son or whatever, and sort of trying to get me to link them up. Bear in mind, you're also the same person that tried to talk smack about this same person a few weeks ago, but suddenly because you find out that they're a kid or someone influential, then now you want to backpedal and now be buddies. So with things like that, I can't respect that. So I think I understand why he's saying that, because suddenly if everyone knows, then perhaps someone who wants a favor from Chuck Brown, I don't even know who Chuck Brown is. Apologies, guys. I don't know, but I can research, right? So, but perhaps other people know who Chuck Brown is, and who knows, if they wanted a favor from Chuck Brown, something of the sort, they're likely to want to be buddies with Wiley or connect in quotation marks with Wiley, only to get to his father. So I understand why he didn't lead with that. Anyway, so Tommy walked into the brunch, and as you know, Tommy always comes with the curveballs. If he does nothing else, he will come in with the curveballs, honey. So Tommy was like, we're going to add one man and one woman into the mix. I'm like, God, you guys are started with this your speed dating shenanigans, but okay, whatever. And then he's like, 2 of you will be going on blind dates. I'm like, okay. Then Tommy caught on to the fact that Sabrina looked so uncomfortable. As soon as Tommy walked in, Sabrina was about to literally crap her pants. She was so uncomfortable, poor thing. Like, she was visibly uncomfortable. I'm like, girl, it is a competition, honey. Just try to brace yourself. I know it's uncomfortable to always feel like you're on 10, when Tommy walks in, but just try and enjoy it for as long as you're there, sis. Anyways, so Tommy picked Ace for a blind date and Levine for a blind date. And Tommy was saying to Levine, like, guy, give her an opportunity to talk. Don't talk her into the ground, because Levine can talk. That man can talk, honey. And then they proceeded to talk about the fact that elimination would be at the end of the week. So Tommy left, and so the people were trying to connect. And so Clifton and Ace sort of had a conversation. And Clifton was like, oh, I don't think, I really got a chance to talk to Ace like that. And now she's going on a blind date. And so he said to her, he's like, oh, he's a little jealous that she's going on a date. I'm like, that's kind of cute, but okay. Well, connect with her now then. Like, what are you doing, sir? But anyways, then Levine said, Ace's calmness. She is love. She is everything. I'm like, okay, Levine. Like, are you in love with the girl? What? Like, what's going on? But I thought that was sweet. It was like, Ace seems like a different kind of woman to everyone else on the show. Like, I'm not saying the women aren't, everyone is lovely in their own way, but Ace just has a different vibe and energy to her. And so for Levine to pick up on that, I was like, okay, all right, Levine, okay. And then Tiffany and Wiley, to be honest, they seem to have a good connection, a little bit of banter going on. But Wiley does not want to put his eggs in one basket, honey. So Miss Tiffany needs to not put her eggs in Wiley's basket, because he's not doing that with her, honey. Wiley is exploring his connections. Read my lips. Exploring his connections, honey. Okay. Anyway, so Wiley went over, talked to Dakia. He was giving all types of sensual, sexual energy. I'm like, okay, is it just me, or this episode was just giving very much sexual energy? I'm like, guys, are you guys ready to love or ready to have sex? Because I'm not understanding. Like, what's with all the sexual energy? Anyways, I think Wiley is into older women, because the way he was with Dakia and then held hands with her, I was like, okay, all right, Wiley. Like, first day, he was looking at her like, ooh, yes, honey. I don't know what's up in Wiley's head, but Wiley is definitely into older women. Anyway, so we move on to Clifton and Joy. So Clifton said to Joy, stand your ass up so we can hug. I'm like, okay, all right, Clifton, okay. Clifton is definitely not my type, but his voice and the way he's like, come here, let's hug. He's such a sweet teddy bear, and I like that. So I think I like his vibe, his personality. He's funny, and he just has great energy. So I thought that was cute with Joy. But yeah, we'll see. So then the next scene was the blind date with Levine and Carmen. And so Levine looks at Carmen and was like, girl, she's thicker than a Snicker. To be honest, I noticed that as soon as I saw her, I was like, girl, she thick. Okay, mama. Like, all right, come through with the thick, buddy. Anyways, he kept doing the motions, using his hands to describe our body. I'm like, Levine, okay, we get it. She's thick. She's thick. We get it. I most certainly get it, honey. Anyway, so they talked. They seem to have a lot in common. I think they both work out a lot. They both were in the Air Force. They both have children. And it seems like they're both very physical people. So, for example, Levine got up and Carmen was touching his booty, his thighs. I'm like, okay, guys, like this is a bit too much for a first date, but if you guys like it, I love it. There was a lot of sexual energy in that episode, in that scene, and they definitely had a lot in common. I could say that for free. So we'll see how that works out. Now, they both have strong personalities, so I do not know how that will work. Unless Carmen, like, taps into a little bit more of her feminine side and less alpha side, I don't know if it will work. I think Levine and Ace are probably a better fit because Ace just seems like a bright light, soft, feminine, energy, which I think that Levine will appreciate and would probably fit better with his personality. Anyways, we'll see what happens with that. So Cornelius, so let's talk about the dates between Cornelius and Ace. At first, I was like, guys, is it going to be boring? But it seems like as soon as Ace came in and Cornelius walked in, Ace was like giving him all the compliments. And so his guard was down. He was like, okay, who's this girl that is giving me all these compliments? One thing I have to say is guys love compliments. Like, I don't know about you, but every time you lead with some compliments, those guys be fawning over you. They be smiling. You can tell them whatever at that point and they would be loving all of it. Okay. So Ace sort of gives me like calm vibes. So I was wondering what the date was going to be like, but they ended up having a good time. I was like, okay, I'm glad it ended up a good time. No one seemed bored. It just seemed like they had such a good time. So I was like, okay, I'm glad they had fun, right? So then you move forward to Paul and Joy's date. Paul actually got Joy's favorite drink. Like, he actually paid attention. He knew what she liked and got that for her. And I liked how Joy liked Clifton, but she was like, she can't pull her eggs in one basket. And I'm like, yes, sis, this is what I was trying to tell Tiffany. Like, yes, sis, finally someone agrees. Anyways, they had their own little cute thing. So Clifton and Dakia, can I just say, but before I go to Clifton and Dakia, right? Paul is awkward. I find his conversations very boring. It's just nothing for me. He just doesn't know how to talk to people. I think he's stuck in the olden days. I'm not even going to call a number because I don't want people to get offended, but he is stuck in a few years back. Yeah, the questions are off. Everything is off. Like, perhaps he needs to see somebody, a relationship expert of some sort, and not Kevin Samuels. Sorry, not Kevin Samuels. Anyways, we move. So Clifton and Dakia, I think Dakia has a lot of personality. She's funny, she's witty. But guys, this was the highlight of that scene for me. Clifton was like to Dakia, what do you think about premarital sex? I'm like, ooh. Then Dakia was like, well, she needs to test drive the car. I'm like, okay, sis, okay. Clifton agreed, and I guess he wanted to make sure that Dakia wanted to test drive as well, so they can both test drive each other or whatever they wanted to do. Then Dakia also then said that sexually she's at her peak levels. I'm like, girl, first date conversation, what is going on? Like, you lot, man, you guys just want to have sex at this point because it doesn't make any sense, but okay. So when they hugged and then Clifton picked her up with one hand and she said, Big Daddy, I'm like, I know that's right. But guys, yeah, to be honest, this is very much ready to have sex, but okay. So then there was a double date with Sabrina, Tiffany, Paul, Cornelius, and one other person. Can't remember who that is, but there was one other person, okay? So Sabrina and Tiffany were basically just grilling Cornelius. It was like back to back to back. I'm like, guys, man, like, have a conversation. Don't be out here grilling people like that. Like, I know you're trying to get to know someone, but that does not mean you should grill them. It's a bit too much. It's given too much too soon, Anyways, so then Cornelius wanted to have a one-on-one chat, so he had a private time with Tiffany. And so when he said to Tiffany, he was like trying to figure out what she wanted, and Tiffany was like, I want a husband, and then she dropped the bats on the thing. I was like, okay, sis, that's a bit much. Like, it's okay to say you want a husband, okay? But the dropping that thing right there was not, as well as her tone and demeanor, came across argumentative, which it did not need to be. You could simply say, I'm not looking to be in, any cohabitation situationships or whatnot. I'm looking to be with a husband. That is it. Simple. You can put your point across. Your tone is important. Your delivery is important. And all of those things. So if your delivery is not good, your tone is off, your energy is off, and then you slam that on the table tennis court, it just all looks wrong and comes across wrong and argumentative and confrontational. Nobody likes that. Now, Cornelius, you a grown-ass man. You kind of just being like, move with the flow. What do you want? It is something I can't stand. When I ask someone, what do you want? Or I ask someone a direct question and they don't give me a direct answer and they're going about the bush saying, whatever it is that you want. No, what do you want? Answer the freaking question. You should know better and stuff. So yeah, that's just my little 2 cents about that. Anyway, so I think, that just I personally think this is what happened to Tiffany, right? All she sees is Wiley. And because all she sees is Wiley, no one else matters to her. She's not even trying to get to know anybody else. She's not even trying to get to talk to anybody else. She's not being open to the process. She is standoffish. Cornelius could have been an opportunity for her to talk to somebody and make a good impression so that she wouldn't... Okay, no, I'm going ahead of myself. It's a recap at the end of the day, so I want to take it progressively. Okay? Anyways, we move. So then there was a date with Tari, Joy, Carmen, Ace, and Clifton. And so Clifton said to Carmen that so Clifton was looking at Carmen and was like, oh, she got the pow at the front, pow at the back. I'm like, yeah, I know she does. And then he said in his confessional, but when he looked at her eyes, she had contacts in and he kept thinking that baby Jesus was looking at him. I hollered, oh my God. I'm like, leave baby Jesus out of this, honey. Like, what are you talking about? But I know what he means, though. That blue contact lenses just wasn't doing anything for her parents. It just was not giving what she thought it did. Like, it just wasn't. But anyways, they seem to have a decent enough conversation. I think Clifton is definitely trying to go through the process. Even though he likes Joy, I think he's trying to go through the process, trying to get to know people. That is someone who is handling this whole process and this whole competition in the game and the show very well. He is playing his cards all the way right. For now, we don't see, but that's what he's doing. So at the date, they were all playing golf and Clifton was really terrible at golf. And so the ladies are like, oh, Carmen can show him how it's done. So Carmen got up and then was trying to show him behind him. I was like, okay, a lot of body touching, but okay. So then Carmen was like, oh, hold my hair. And so Clifton went behind her to hold her hair. And I'm like, girl, I know all of this is just for you to just get this, have this whole sexual chemistry thing between you and Cornelius, but okay. Not Cornelius, you and Clifton, but okay. But it was giving very much, very, very sexual. But I was like, all right, cool. If you like it, it's my business. So yeah. Now, the part that really got me right was when Clifton held her hair, right? Next thing, I just saw that Joy's face changed. She was pissed off. She was like, don't touch my man. Well, she didn't say that, but her face said that for her. Her face was very much giving, don't touch my man. But, she kept it together, which I thought was, at least you can be a little jealous, but get yourself together and move on. And one thing, now Carmen has made a little bit comments here and there that I don't like. One of the comments was something about she thinks Tori is cute, but she doesn't like dreads. First of all, do not call it dreads. It is locks, honey. And if you don't like looks, that is absolutely fine. But do not call it dreads, okay? All right, let's all get that. Let's get that clear. What we're not gonna do is call it dreads, honey. And if you're one of those people that call locks dreads, do not do that. It's not right. What is dreads? Dread. Think about it. What you dread the locks? Like, no, stop it. Don't do that. Anyways, that's my little 2 cents about locks. I'm a locked goddess, so, gotta put some respect when it comes to locks, honey. Anyways, we move. So the part that really got me was that. And then she proceeded to say, I wanted him to touch my hair because it's all mine. Okay, then, so what? Like, I don't like when people say things like that to undermine or be like, oh, because the other girls here don't even have hair like that. Like, you don't need to do that. 1, 2, you don't know. They might be wearing weaves, but they might have hair like yours too. So, honey, pipe down, honey. Don't be doing that. It's not right. You don't have to be doing all that comparison. Like, yes, your hair is good. Talk about how lovely your hair is. But you ain't got to be comparing yourself to other people. Like, stop it. Anyways, we move. So, Tari and Joy, they were playing games. I was loving their energy. I was like, okay, you guys are really getting it together and stuff. But I feel like Joy still likes Clifton. And Clifton is where her heart is. But she was just indulging Tori, and Tori seemed to like her too. But okay, we'll see how that pans out. So then you saw Ace left the other guys to have their own little conversation, and she went to the bar. And so I thought this was absolutely sweet because Clifton went over there to speak to Ace, to check on her and be like, are you okay? Is everything? She's like, no, she just stepped to the side to let the guys have their connection. And she just wants people to have their connection. I'm like, all right, sis, you a sweet one. You a sweet one. You're here on Ready to Love, honey. You are meant to find your connection too, but okay. Fine. If you're here to support other people finding their connection, that is absolutely fine. And then, so the next scene was the gentleman's lounge. And so nephew Tommy was like talking about, letting all the guys talk about like their different experiences. He talked about like the blind dates and how did they feel like that went. Cornelius talked about how he liked Ace. It was a good date. Levine talked about his date with Carmen and how Carmen touched his gluteus maximus and his thighs. Then proceeded to say, it could be it. I'm like, dude, you went on one date. But at the same time, I have noticed that guys, they sort of know from day one who it is they want and who it is they want to date, end up with, things like that. So perhaps it's just one of those things. But I don't know if Carmen is feeling you like that. I think she enjoyed the date, but she also wants to explore her options. So unless she doesn't find anyone else, I think then she might settle on you, Levine. But okay. So the guys started talking about who they were feeling, who they had the least connection with. Paul said Tiffany. Clifton said Tiffany. Cornelius said Tiffany. Wiley said he couldn't get past Ace's yoga. Now that cracked me up. I was like, ooh, 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 ooh. I know, to be honest, they don't show much of her personality, but like the yoga bits. So I don't know, man. I feel like they're doing her a little bit of a disservice. That's one of the reasons why I thought like her dates with Cornelius was going to be boring. But it seemed like they both had fun. So there's more to her than meets the eye and than what they're showing us. So anyways, now this is the part that really got me. And I was like, I like Levine. Levine used that opportunity to speak up for Ace. He was like, she is the embodiment of a phenomenal woman. She is Oprah. She is Beyonce. She is Jill Scott. She is Michelle Obama. I'm like, that's right. Okay. All right. Like, look at you speaking about a woman. Like, I was like, okay, Levine. Now, one thing I know is Levine likes the pow pow. He likes the buddy. But I think he likes Ace's personality, her aura, her peace, her calmness, her vibe. But I don't know. I guess we'll see what wins for him. Is he going to choose body, or is he going to choose personality and vibe and love and connection? I don't know, man. I do not know. I guess we'll find out. And so the guys, basically, the two people that were at the bottom was Tiffany and Ace. So Paul and Tiffany met up for a date, the elimination dates. Well, unbeknownst to Miss Tiffany. Tiffany didn't know. So Tiffany's like, oh, let's just connect and da-da-da-da. And Paul proceeded to ask her a question. And Tiffany was like, oh, no questions, Tiffany was just not having any of it. Now, I understand that Paul's questions are just annoying most times, but it seems that on this particular date, he was genuinely just willing and trying to get to know her. But Tiffany just was not biting. She was just not having any of it. So Paul proceeded to say the guys have deliberated and they believe that she's not ready to love. And so Paul was like, let me give you a hug. He's like, no, I don't want your hug. And I love how he stood back and did not hug her, because you shouldn't do that if someone says they don't want to hug you. And, she was just there like, okay. And so when she left, I thought she was like, oh, she's not even upset. I'm like, girl, you were salty as hell. Shut up. Like, she was being such a sore loser. She was like, she couldn't believe she was sent home. I'm like, why can't you believe you were sent home? Throughout this experience, you haven't really given the experience what you should have. You did not come up to that experience with good vibes, with good energy. Instead, you had attitude, left, right, center. Am I missing something, or are you missing the plot? I was just like, no, you need to go back and watch yourself, honey. I think because you thought, oh my God, I'm cute, I'm a baddie, I'm not going to be eliminated, blah, blah, blah. Girl, so are the other women. And if you're not coming and showing up yourself and showing up in the process, then guess what's going to happen? You will be eliminated. That is what the show is about. I don't like when people suddenly appear shocked at the thought of them being eliminated. Like, are you beyond or above someone that can be eliminated? It is a show. It is a competition. If you don't find your connections enough for you to stay, you are voted out. That is how it works. Like, I just can't. I just couldn't. Like, I was just like, stop acting like you're not sore. You're not a sore loser. Because right now you're acting sore and hella childish. But anyways, she went off in a rant. And in that, her outfit, I don't even know what that outfit was. But anyways, I'll forgive her. Whatever. She walks off in that outfit and I was just thinking like, girl, stop it. And she kept just saying snark remarks. I was like, if you get eliminated in a competition, right? No matter what it is, just take it on the chin. Even you can be upset, but take it like a baddie. Thank you for the opportunity. It was an experience altogether. I wish everybody the best. The end. Maybe even plan your speech before your elimination, because I don't understand why you lot be getting caught out by the camera, acting a fool. Anyways, my rant is over on that one. And so Ace and Wiley had their own little dates. And when it was time to talk about the guys have deliberated, I love how Wiley got up and walked towards Ace and tried to give her some moral support and like hold her hands. I was like, that is very sweet. Like, Wiley, you're a sweet one, aren't you? And then, but guys, Ace is still in the game. Ace is still in the game. Oh, Ace, bless her heart. I love how when Wiley was speaking, she just looked so attentive. She just looked at him with kind eyes. She was encouraging, even though like it sounded like he was about to eliminate her. Her reaction was with grace. She held his hands. She looked in his eyes. She was giving him a kind smile, kind eyes. I was like, oh my goodness, Ace. Like, wow, I'm loving you and I don't even know you. You're such a sweet, vibrant, positive woman. Like, we can hang. But anyway, so now This is the part that got me, guys. When Ace said in her confessionals, I cannot be explained in words, I have to be experienced. I was like, ain't that a word, honey? Ain't that a word? Because the truth of the matter is, I've noticed that the people that put Ace on their bottom are people that have not really had one-on-one experiences with her. It's sort of like they've only had, chats here and there, but not a one-on-one experience. And I think I get her. She is very much vibes. And so she has to be in your presence for you to feel that. All in all, what were my thoughts about the episode? I thought it was an okay episode. It wasn't too bad. There were certain things here and there that I was like, okay, fine. Clifton brought a little comedic thing to the show, which I liked. I liked the inclusion of Carmen and Cornelius just to shake things up a little bit. In terms of personalities, I haven't seen enough of the personalities yet. It does seem like everyone is on this sexual vibe, and I'm trying to see a lot more than that. I want to see who you are as a person. I want to see your personality. I want to see your attitudes so that we can have more conversations regarding these things. Now, on this channel, aside doing reviews and recaps, I want to do more in-depth talk about people's personalities and how they navigate certain things and help us so that in our dating experience, we have a better understanding of who we are in our dating experiences. So that's something that I'm looking to do on this channel as well. So yes, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, tap that bell for notifications. So you know every single time that I post. If there is anything you want me to do commentary on, let me know and I will do it for you guys. Thank you so much and I will see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.